Welcome. My name is Marcella Norman. For those of you who don't know me, I am the author of Mental Health, What's That? I'm also a therapist. I treat children with mental health disorders. I am very passionate about mental health and I want to share this important message with everyone, which is why I wrote a book. So I want to read a little bit of it for you today. Please join me. This is Mental Health, What's That? Written by Marcella K. Norman and illustrated by Kennedy Kitchen. This beautiful artwork. I love it. I love it. I'm such a fan. All right, so let's get into it. Mental health is a part of our overall well-being. Similar to our physical health, the effects of mental health are something we should be mindful of. It's important that we learn ways to take care of ourselves, both physically and mentally. You may be wondering what mental health is. Let's start by exploring health overall. Health refers to a person's mental or physical condition. A part of being healthy is taking care of our bodies. We take care of our bodies by eating healthy, by exercising, getting enough sleep, practicing good hygiene, and being careful not to hurt ourselves. We can have good health and poor health. Good health is when we're at our best. Poor health is when we have sickness in our bodies or disease, poor hygiene, lack of sleep, lack of proper nutrition. It is also important to know that some things that affect our health are out of our control. With poor health, sometimes our bodies suffer from sickness. Sometimes we have diseases or we may get hurt. Our bones may become weak and break, or we can get bruised easily. Sometimes we get sick because we came in contact with germs and we don't take good care of our hygiene. For instance, by not washing our hands, we can come in contact with germs that make us sick. Sometimes we have diseases that are incurable. That's a big word. When our health is poor, it's important to see a doctor for help, to help us feel better and understand what's happening in our bodies. Okay, so we've explored some important details about health. Let us go over what we learned so far. We learned that good health consists of taking care of our bodies. We do that by eating properly, getting enough sleep, and practicing good hygiene. We also learned that poor health consists of sickness in our bodies, lack of sleep, lack of nutrients, and sometimes getting hurt. When this happens, it's important to see a doctor. We also learn some diseases that affects us are incurable. Wow, we learned some great ways to take care of our bodies. But is it possible for other parts of our bodies to need care? Does our brain need care? The answer is yes. Mental health is the well-being of our minds, which includes our thinking and the connection between our actions and our feelings. Mental health means a person's condition with regard to their mental and emotional well-being. Let's explore what mental health is. So we got some words here on the page. He's exploring mental health. So we got trauma, that's a big word. Therapy, illness. He's in exploration mode. So let's see what we'll learn about mental health. Mental health impacts how we understand things and experience the world around us. It also affects how we make friends and build relationships. It affects our thought patterns and the way we feel about ourselves. So if you can see this map here, our thoughts, our feelings, and how we experience the world is all connected. How we make friends, it's all connected. Like our physical health, mental health can be good or poor. Some examples of good mental health are when we feel good about ourselves, when we understand our feelings and are able to express them, and when our thought patterns are not harmful to ourselves or others. So he's demonstrating some good mental health over here. He's got some affirmations. I am worthy. I did it. I can do this. Some examples of poor mental health are when our thoughts seem worrisome or scary. Mental health can also be the cause when we cannot tell what is going on in our bodies. And why and when it's hard to converse with others or focus on a task. Poor mental health can sometimes show in the way we treat and think of ourselves. Sometimes there's things, just like our physical health, that affect us because we cannot control these things, right? Such as our biology, our environment, poverty, lack of resources, and lack of safety. Another part of mental health is our emotions, also called our feelings. It's important for us to learn how to identify and understand our feelings and how they exist in our bodies. There are many emotions, and sometimes it can be hard to figure out what we're feeling. It is important to know that no matter what emotion we are feeling, it is valid. That means that no one can tell you what you're feeling or what you're not feeling. Only you know that. It's okay to feel whatever emotion we're feeling. Emotions are not good or bad, they just are. It's okay to feel emotions like anger and sadness and grief. Sometimes we can feel more than one emotion at the same time, and we don't have to choose one or the other. Learning how to identify emotions and how they affect our body can help us understand and express ourselves better. It is important to express our feelings and not keep them bottled up inside. Our emotions have a really big job to do. They can alert us of danger and give our bodies warning when something is wrong. They all have their different functions, and this is why it's important to identify exactly what we're feeling. Let's explore some emotions and their jobs. Fear helps protect us from danger. Anticipation shows us we're looking forward to something or planning. Surprise lets us know we're facing a new situation or something unexpected. Sadness helps us know something hurts us or hurts our feelings, and that's okay to feel that way. Shame, this is an inward reflection of how we're feeling about our actions when we sense we've done something unacceptable. Happiness, it helps us connect with things that bring us joy and make us feel good. Joy gives us a feeling of pleasure or happiness. Anger. Anger is a natural response to threats. It encourages powerful, often aggressive feelings and behaviors, which allow us to defend ourselves. So this is defensive emotion when we feel attacked. A certain amount of anger is necessary for our being. So again, there are no good or bad emotions. Some are stronger than others, but there's no good or bad. So anger is a defensive emotion. it's helping protect us when we feel attacked. Nervousness lets us know we're uncomfortable and sometimes we may not feel safe. Guilt lets us know we've done something we think or feel was wrong. So those were a lot of emotions, but guess what? There's many, many more. So let's explore and see how many emotions you can think of that we didn't go over. Okay, so we took a break. Now let's get back to it. Our feelings, thoughts, and behaviors are all connected. Therefore, it's important to recognize what kind of thoughts we are having. A harmful thought can give you a bad feeling and cause you to respond badly, while a positive thought can make you feel good and act more positively. So we see this is what we got going on here. Over here, she's having some positive thoughts. I am loved. I love who I am. Where on the other side, she's having some negative thoughts. No one loves me. I hate who I am. So this can change the way we react and the way we behave, the thoughts that we have, depending on if they're positive or negative. One very, very important part of mental health is trauma. Now, this is a big word, right? Let's explore what it means. Trauma is an emotional reaction to a terrible event that's happened in our lives. Trauma can affect our body and our mind. When we experience physical trauma reactions, it involves our body's response to threats, abuse, and serious injuries. Mental reactions to trauma, which are sometimes longer lasting and may consist of terrifying thoughts, painful feelings, and triggers. Triggers can include sights, sounds, thoughts, or smells that remind us of that traumatic event in some way. Trauma can also affect us even when it has not directly impacted us. For example, you can also experience trauma when you hear about firsthand trauma of another person. This is called secondary trauma. Traumatic events or experiences can include natural events like an earthquake or a house fire. It can also include events like violence, death, serious accidents, war, attacks, abuse, and neglect. These are a lot of things that we're dealing with now in the world today. When we experience something traumatic, it can be very difficult for us to deal with. And it'll probably be something we haven't dealt with before. We may not feel safe anymore, or we may not feel like ourselves. We may question things we once believed in, like our faith and others that we trust. It's important to know that everyone deals with trauma differently, even if it's the same type of trauma. There's no right or wrong way to react to traumatic experiences. Sometimes we heal on our own over time with the help of our family and friends. And sometimes it can have longer lasting effects and lead to more serious mental health issues and the need for professional help. So how can we tell the difference between mental health symptoms and physical health symptoms? First, it's important to understand how physical health and mental health symptoms can seem alike. For example, think of how your hearts beat fast when we run. The same is true when we're nervous or scared. Our hearts can beat really fast when we're scared. We can sweat and have trouble catching our breath, right, when we're scared. This is because both our physical health and mental health depend on our nervous system. The nervous system is like the boss of our body. It tells our brain and body what to do by sending messages through our nerves. So can we tell if he is suffering from a mental health condition or a physical health thing? Is he scared or is he having a panic attack? We don't know. It could be either. So it's important that we learn the differences between mental health and physical health. So let's explore some differences between mental health and physical health. Thoughts or feelings, exercise, sleep, our mind. What do you think? Which ones belong to mental health and which ones are our physical health? Or do they overlap? Mental disorder, as with physical sickness, sometimes calls for a visit to a professional to figure out what is wrong with us. A disorder is another word for disease. It's often used in mental health. Medical professionals are trained to treat our bodies, while mental health professionals are trained to treat our minds. Sometimes both a physical and mental health professional may determine that we need medicine for us to feel better. Medical professionals give us their expert advice on ways to take care of ourselves. Mental health professionals, they may suggest therapy. In therapy, we may learn coping skills. Therapy is a safe space to talk about our feelings and the things that hurt us. A coping skill is something we do to help us manage those difficult, strong emotions, right? For example, these are some coping skills that you can perform on your own. Exercise is good to help us feel better when we're bored, sad, or even mad. Taking deep breaths can help us when we feel frightened, nervous, or uncomfortable. Writing our feelings in a journal helps us express what we're feeling. Arts and crafts keeps us busy. Talking to a friend or an adult about how we're feeling can help us feel heard. We can count to 10 when we're angry and ask ourselves, on a scale from 1 to 10, how big is our emotion? If we're above a certain number, we can pause and do a preferred activity until we're feeling better. Asking for help from adults makes them know that we need them. So these are different coping skills: journaling, arts and crafts, talking to a trusted adult. There are some things that we can do to take care of both our mental health and our physical health. It's important to eat healthy, exercise, go to a doctor when we're not feeling fine. We can talk to a professional when our thoughts and feelings are upsetting us or when we get sick or hurt. A good way to tell when we need to see a professional for our mental health is when our thoughts and feelings make it hard for us to do the things we do every day, like get out of bed, playing with our friends, eating properly, or if we are not able to sleep. Wow. We learned a lot about mental health. Most importantly, we learned that our mental health is just as important as our physical health. Speaking about mental health regularly will help us understand that we all may not experience mental illness, but everyone may have a period when their mental health is at risk, and that there is no shame in talking about it. It is important to know that it's okay to ask for help. Mental health is a part of our overall well-being. The end. And there's some special treats at the end of the book. There's a feelings chart as well as a glossary for some of those big words that we use, just to clarify and define it more and educate ourselves. So this is a heavy topic, but I thank you for listening and tuning in. It's a very, very important topic. It's an introduction to mental health. We need to have more and more and more and more conversations. Help me do that, okay? Spread the word, spread this book. Links for purchase are in my bio. You can get it on Amazon, at bookbaby.com, Target, Walmart. It's accessible for all. It's $12.99. I'm not trying to break the bank. I really just want to share this message. So thank you for listening. I hope we can do this again. Again, we read Mental Health, What's That? Written by Marcella Kane Norman, myself, and illustrated by Kennedy Kitchen, who did this beautiful artwork. Thank you, and have a good night.